Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Nova and this is Nova Does Cosplay. So over these next couple of months, I'm going to be working on a project, just something that I've kind of always wanted to try. But what I'm doing is we're gonna call it the Battle of the Bodysuits. So what I'm basically going to be doing is I'm going to be putting two bodysuit patterns head to head and see which one works better. And when I say works better, I mean which one is easier to follow, which one was easier to sew, which one had the best results. Basically just comparing two different bodysuits. I found out there's like 6 different bodysuit patterns, and when I started cosplaying in 2010, you didn't have 6 bodysuit patterns. You had one bodysuit pattern, and it was the quick sew pattern, and you could never find it in stores, so most of us ended up just like buying a generic bodysuit and then altering the shit out of it. So now that we have all these options, particularly in the last like 3 or 4 years, I wanted to just kind of like put them together and see which ones I personally liked, which ones had easier directions, etc. Now, some of these patterns I have used before, but I did buy all new ones just so we can experience the whole thing together. So for my first Battle of the Bodysuits, we have 2 different patterns that are gonna go head to head. Now, these are both simplicity patterns. For the first one, we have Simplicity 8670, and for the second one, we have Simplicity 8286. Now, this one is the Riddle bodysuit pattern, which I used when I made my Mount Lady cosplay, but I have not used it since. I've never actually used this bodysuit pattern at all. But we're gonna start from scratch, and we're going to make 2 bodysuits that are kind of similar to see which one works out best. So I have selected the cosplays that I'm going to be sewing with these. And so without further ado, we are going to start with Simplicity 8670. And now, let's cosplay. As I stated in the intro, this is the Battle of the Bodysuits Part 1, and in this part we are going to be doing Simplicity Pattern 8670. Now this pattern, you can buy it online, you can buy it in fabric stores. Usually you pay anywhere between like $7.50 up to like $23.95 depending on where you get it from. However, because I am cheap and I am proud, I bought this pattern on a Simplicity sale and I paid like 99 cents. I'm cheap. And for this cosplay, I have decided that I'm going to do the one that's on the cover. Let's make a Gwenpool, because I don't have a Gwenpool cosplay. Love Gwen, love Deadpool. Why have I not done this? So without further ado, we're gonna start at the beginning. All right, let's get Gwenpool done. Now, in regards to fabric, I rated my fabric stash over here to get out because I happen to have this pink spandex and this white spandex, perfect for Gwenpools. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I have enough to make the cosplay, but I'm gonna try. Worst case scenario, I can just buy more. But the pink is just a 2-way stretch spandex, so it's not like the highest quality spandex. I think I got this from a Hancock Fabrics like 3 or 4 years ago. I used it for something that probably shouldn't have had stretch in it. Now for the white, I don't even know where I found this one. I think I got it from like a scrap bin, but it is a little bit sheer. You can completely see all the way through it. So this means I will need to double up on the white fabric. I do have plenty of the white. I think I've got enough white to make it work, but we're basically gonna say a prayer to the sewing gods and hope we got enough fabric for this. Luckily, it shouldn't be too bad. So, let's go. Now, I have not opened this yet. I don't know anything about what's inside here, but we're gonna find out together. So, we have our directions. Now, this can be a long sleeve bodysuit, a short sleeve bodysuit. It can have no sleeves, it can have legs, no legs, however you want to do it, but we're doing Gwenpool, so we need long sleeves and no legs. If you've never actually looked at a pattern before you cut out all the pieces, read the directions. And when you're buying your pattern, know your measurements when you go into the store, because you see the back here, see those numbers? Those are all measurements. You have to know your measurements so that you know exactly how much fabric to get, instead of pretending to be me and thinking that you have enough in the scrap bin to make it work. So, you know, because that's the type of trash that I am. But if we're looking at the directions here, there's a lot of pieces to this pattern. And it tells you on here what each piece is. Patterns also give you general directions for the way you need to sew the particular costume, things you need to know before cutting, after cutting. So this one has pretty good directions from what it looks like. There's 2 pages for it. We'll get to that in a second. Cutting layouts. So recommended ways for you to put, you can see all the way through the back side, so we're gonna use my hands over. Recommended ways for you to put the fabric and the pattern together. And it tells you how best to sew the costume as well. Now, I tend to like simplicity patterns, so I think this is gonna go great. Let's cut out all these pieces. Well, we gotta find out what pieces we need. Then we can cut out all the pieces. Let's go. Okay, so we have all of our pieces cut out. Now I did go ahead and do something that's not in the directions, but it's because my white was so sheer, the white fabric, you know, it was so sheer that I went ahead and sewed the double layering of the white fabric together so that, you know, you wouldn't see through it. Now I did use my serger on this. That might not have been the best thing to do, but I felt like it would work. So yeah, used my serger on that. So now we're gonna follow the directions for the sewing of the costume and see, you know, just how easy this is to work with. I would like to start off this fitting by saying that I owe an apology to this pattern because this isn't basted. It's supposed to be basted, but I didn't baste it for the fitting. I just kind of pinned it, and you know, once I sew it, it might look a little better, but I think this pattern runs small. Well, so far, looks pretty clean, nice and straight. I'm using the serger, as you can see, and I chose the white thread because I had white and then like 7,000 colors. But something that I'm gonna do that I've kind of gotten to the habit of doing is I'm going to top stitch this. That way it looks even cleaner. So here's what we got so far. I know it's just kind of in a wad on the floor, but we added some top stitching. We sewed these pieces together, we sewed these pieces together, we sewed these pieces together. Now, I know that this isn't perfect, but it looks okay when it's on. It's got a kind of like cartoony vibe to it, and you know, there's like the 5-foot rule. So as long as it looks good from 5 feet back, we're fine. But it's really not bad. I think it looks okay. This is more of like a how-to anyway, or a showing you how it looks. So I'm not terribly worried about my cartoony, uneven squares. I think they're fine. Quick update, I'm installing the zipper, attaching some seams, about to work on the sleeves, and I have a helper. Cosplay's looking great because somebody's on my pattern! Are you helping? Is this what you're doing? You're helping? Okay. As far as sleeve alterations go, this is actually going pretty simple. I did the sleeve kind of like this so I could pin it in place where I wanted it to be since there's some alterations. Overall, the altering's not bad on this pattern, so that's good. All right, and we are done. These are just some temporary gloves. I was just using this to make the bodysuit. My cat's tail is all up. Do you see that? That is his tail. Wait, why? Why are you right there? You want to say hi to everyone? You want to say hi? You do? Do you love me? Do I get kisses? Oh my goodness, I get kisses. Okay, so now featuring my wonderful little helper slash assistant. We have finished sewing the cosplay. The pattern was pretty easy to follow. The alterations were actually really easy to make. I didn't have a single problem with it. The only negative thing that I guess I can take away from this pattern is that I personally felt like it ran a little small, but that could also just be me. You know, maybe I didn't follow that part of the directions correctly. I'm always willing to accept the benefit of the doubt. However, I did enjoy making this cosplay. So now we're gonna go to the full body mirror and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys see the full thing. Oh, looks like he's coming too. All right, so here we are in the full length mirror. As you can see, the cosplay came out pretty well. I did not make the gauntlets or the boot covers yet. That's okay, because I can do those in another video. The belts I already had from another cosplay I did when I did the Gwenpool Mary Jane variant. That's where I got the belts from. So I did already have the belts. I'll probably do another video on making cosplay belts and accessories because I freaking love belts, and every costume, like, well, at least that I want to make, just seems to have like 7 or 8 belts. So I will probably do a video on belts, but overall the pattern came out pretty well. My sleeves look really great. I just have to finish trimming the sleeves. The seam lines look great. I think these really bad squares give it off a really cute kind of cartoony vibe. The whole pattern came out really well. I did make my own hood. That was not part of the pattern, but overall I think it came out really good. This pattern, I gotta give it a 4 out of 5. The only reason I'm not giving it a 5 out of 5 is because I feel like the pattern ran small. But overall, I really like the pattern. I think it did a really good job. I'm excited for part 2, which is going to be on the Riddle bodysuit pattern, so stay tuned for that. And as always, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You all have a fantastic day. Bye.